So what is it going to take to drive Bitcoin's price over $100,000? Well, with what we saw in the market this week, we certainly have a better idea of what that could be. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you probably clicked on this video because you want to get involved in this crazy crypto world, but you might think that you already missed the run and that you're too late, or maybe you just don't know how much more this thing could possibly go up. So in this video, I'm going to go over what's happening with Bitcoin right now and explain some of the factors that could help drive Bitcoin's price well over $100,000. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and if you find any value throughout this video, make sure to leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and it helps out the channel a lot more than you might think. But anyways, let's start off with what made Bitcoin's price go absolutely parabolic this week. You probably heard, but earlier this week, Tesla invested over $1.5 billion into Bitcoin, which might have just completely changed the game for not only Bitcoin, but for every company around the world. And aside from the billion-dollar investment, Elon Musk also announced that Tesla is currently working on a plan to start accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. So this is absolutely huge for the crypto world. Tesla is one of the biggest and most respected companies on the market, so watching them do something like this and watching one of the most innovative companies 100% back Bitcoin really says a lot about its future. But as always, there are still a ton of Bitcoin skeptics out there who might not believe in the long-term bull case or really just believe how it's going to be adopted as a currency in the future. So on top of their investment, seeing that they're also coming up with a plan to start allowing their customers to transact with cryptocurrency really brings a lot of attention to the market. So how is this going to affect Bitcoin's price in the near future? Well, we saw exactly what happened once Tesla announced their investment. Bitcoin jumped over 20% from $38,000 to a high of over $48,000. And despite a small correction, it is still trading just under $45,000. So now you have to ask yourself, well, what happens if more companies start to do this? You know, how long is it going to be until the next Fortune 500 company follows in Tesla's footsteps and decides to convert some of their cash into Bitcoin? And we're also in a very interesting spot in the economy right now where if Tesla's investment does start to trigger a domino effect, I think it could be pretty aggressive just based off of our current market environment. You know, with all of the fiscal stimulus and money just being pumped into circulation, our dollar is starting to lose its value. So all these companies are going to have to look for an alternative to just holding on to cash. And this devaluation of our dollar could be enough alone to trigger more Bitcoin buying by some of these larger companies, because what is the point of keeping all of this excess cash on your balance sheet if it's just going to continue to lose money every single day just by holding it? So what these companies are looking for is a hedge against inflation because our dollar continues to lose its value. So cryptocurrency not only offers that option, but it is also a hedge with an extreme amount of upside. And keep in mind, there is a finite amount of Bitcoin in the world, and clearly from what we've seen over the past couple months, this is not the same for cash. The Fed can quite literally just print more cash, which is awful for anybody who is holding on to it. And you've probably heard over and over again how cash is trash, and this is why, because it loses its value over time, and the Fed can literally just print more of it. And don't forget, we are also on the verge of another $1.9 trillion stimulus deal, and if that ends up going through, the value of our dollar is only going to get worse. So if you're holding a form of currency that does not appreciate or make you money just by holding on to it, then you're keeping it in the wrong place. So even though Bitcoin can be very volatile at times, it still offers a ridiculous amount of upside rather than just holding on to millions, or in Tesla's case, billions of dollars of cash. So that's kind of the reasoning why companies would look to convert some of their balance sheet to Bitcoin. But at this point, Bitcoin has really only caught the attention of a few major US companies. Other than Tesla, two notable Bitcoin holders are one, MicroStrategy, which was the first publicly traded company to convert part of their balance sheet to Bitcoin with over $1 billion invested, and MassMutual with over $100 million invested. And with only a few companies converting their cash to Bitcoin, we've seen firsthand, how this can affect Bitcoin's price and how it just creates a massive wave of buying as soon as their investments go public. And at this point, giving an exact price target would really just be speculating because nobody really knows how high this thing will go. But you just have to think about, just from what we've seen so far, what if Jeff Bezos comes out tomorrow and says how Amazon is going to convert even 2% of their cash to Bitcoin? What's going to happen if Apple or Microsoft or any other major company in the US comes out and says that they're going to follow in Tesla's footsteps and start to buy up Bitcoin. And if this starts to happen, you can only imagine what's going to happen to Bitcoin's price. And I'm not saying that every company or institutional investor is just going to jump right in and start buying Bitcoin. Just because Elon thinks it's a good idea, it doesn't mean every company is going to do it. But I do think that Tesla's investment will have a big impact on the market and at least get all of these other companies just considering this as another alternative. And that would be the major catalyst. We don't know if or when companies are going to start buying Bitcoin, but it definitely seems like this trend is going to continue in the future. And with only 21 million Bitcoins in circulation, there will definitely be a massive surge in demand if we do start to see more companies and institutional investors buying up Bitcoin at the same time. So I guess we'll see what happens, but that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comments below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys next time. Peace.